Hi everyone, welcome. Today I will be taking part in the 4x4x48 challenge. Now if you don't know what that is, it is running 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Now this challenge stems, as far as I can tell, from this fella.
This is David Goggins. He is the toughest man alive.
Hey!
Chief Petty Officer David Goggins.
I am not a hero.
Major leg surgery.
They don't know me, son!
Merry Christmas.
Stay home!
Oh, that was tough. Now this particular challenge has been around on YouTube for a while now. You don't have to type in much into YouTube to see that it stems kind of back to this fella, David Goggins. Now he's an ex-Navy SEAL who just likes to thrust fitness down your throat at any opportunity.
You can't just fucking quit!
Quite a few of those videos have found their way into my eyes and into my brain, so now I feel like I've been influenced to go out and give it a go. Certainly since I now do things like this on my own YouTube channel. So here we are at the cusp of doing one myself. So let's talk very quickly about the logistics. So timing, the schedule. We have to factor in 12 runs sort of over 48 hours. Now you can do that over any kind of 48 hours. And I've chosen to start mine at 1 PM today, 2 hours from now. And I'm going to go to the pattern of, I'm going to put my schedule here, which I will carefully overlay in the edit. I'm going to start at 1, 5 and 9. That cycle will then simply repeat through the clock. So 1 AM, 5 AM, 9 AM, etc. until we reach Saturday at 9 AM, which just coincidentally happens to be park run time. So my very last run will be at park run. I'll have to obviously do the additional mile, but that will be a nice way to sort of tie the video up. Oh. He's a bit energetic. So there I am, run number 1. Standing on my driveway with my lunatic Labrador. We're ready to go. Holly, my wife, she's at the front door. She's counting me down from 15, weirdly. And I've chosen a route that is a straight up 4 mile slog, straight up out of the village. 12 minutes in, that is not far. What do you think, Nala? What do you think? Oh god, yeah, I agree. I seem to have chosen the exact time when Storm Gerrit was still whipping up around this particular area. So the wind was high, 45 miles an hour high, and the rain was sideways. This is grim. So that made for a very spicy, very interesting first run. I'm not afraid of the weather. The storm can piss off. It doesn't bother me normally, but it still makes some runs a little bit grimmer than others. And this was one such run. Now my dog Nala would normally lead on a canicross harness, she would normally pull. But by 2 miles she was so wet through that she just didn't care anymore. And she started to fall further and further behind. I think she'd got the grumps, in fact, by the end. I think we both need toweling down. Okay, so we have just finished run 1. 4 miles, easy enough as you would expect the first 4 miles to be. However, it's the tail end of Storm Gerrit out there and it is pissing down cats and dogs. So I have one wet dog who just wants to go to sleep now. I'm soaked through head to toe. So that was a real cracking way to start this challenge off. With Nala firmly sulking at me about the first run, I went out on the second run by myself. Now this was the first run that I'd done in the dark. Now it was only 5 PM, so it wasn't late, and there was still lots of people about and lots of light, the most important thing. A 2 mile out and back. It's very important that you do these kinds of runs doing this kind of challenge, because that means you don't do more mileage than you absolutely need. If you start trying to plan a loop, chances are it's not going to add up to 4 miles. You're either going to be doing more or you're going to be doing less. Both are a bit of a problem. So I ran out. It was lovely. All the Christmas lights were still on, and I ran under sort of the beautifully lit trees in my village that have all the beautiful lights on, and that was it. It wasn't cold. It was still a bit windy. It was still sort of howling wind in my face, certainly when I started off the run, but those winds were due to die down sort of overnight into the next day. So literally just got in. It's 5:45. You can see how that hour is almost gobbled up completely by the run, even if it only takes you half an hour to do the run, which only leaves you then 3 hours to your next run. You can see how the potential for getting stuff done, like sleep, goes down. So run 3, 9 p.m, day 1. I decided to take a different route out of the village this time. Instead of turning left like I did in the last run, I turned right. It's a slightly more undulating route, but I was glad for it. It was also nice because the road I was running on wasn't that busy. It meant I could get my camera out without feeling self-conscious, and there was a very good signpost as to where to turn around. Literally the sign for the next village is exactly 2 miles from my front door. So I turned around at that point and ran back. Now, when I started off from this particular run, I'd sort of convinced myself that I wanted a bag of chips, something that I could throw in a backpack. So I took a backpack with me and run back to the house and eat a bunch of fried carbs as I was going into the evening. It made sense to me. Load up on calories before you try and go to sleep, because then you'll have something in you for the 1 a.m. run, which was the sort of one in the middle of the night and I wasn't really looking forward to. Okay, so it's approaching 10 at night. I've just come in off run 3. The worst thing about this entire run is before I started, I'd set my heart on getting a bag of chips on the way home. Just a small bag, just to sort of eat right now. I should be eating them right now. But walked into the first one, cash only mate. Walk into the second one, cash only mate. What? Anyway, I need to go find something to eat and then go to bed. When you are exercising so frequently as a challenge like the 4x4x48, with you exercising every 4 hours, you're going to need to keep those calories coming in to fuel that exercise so you don't feel terrible. And the best way to do that is with real food, not with powders, not with potions, not with stuff that you buy from Holland and Barrett. Real food that you buy from a proper shop, cooked in a proper way and eaten normally. Now, part of this challenge is trying to figure out how and when to get some sleep. Now, if you're really brave, you can try and go the whole thing without sleeping, but you'll start to hallucinate and you'll start to go a bit weird in the head at some point. So I thought I'll try and get some sleep after the 9 p.m. run. So it had me about 10 o'clock before I sort of was able to get into bed. Now, bearing in mind that even though you've got 4 hours between the runs, let's say the first hour is consumed by running, getting dressed, getting clean, having a drink, getting something to eat. Okay, first hour's gone. So you've only got 3 hours left. Now, at the end of that, you have to sort of get up for half an hour early, sort of to get ready for the next run. So that leaves 2.5 hours sort of remaining as free time. Now, even if you're the sort of person that can just go to bed and go to sleep, that means you're only realistically going to get maybe 2.5 hours.
I don't want to get up. I certainly don't want to get up in 2 hours.
Morning. It's 12:20 and my attempts to go to sleep did not go to plan. I always knew that getting sleep would be one of the biggest problems of this particular challenge. So there was past an hour of trying, there was no point persisting. I thought I'd just come down and sort of just get a head start on all my preparations. So run 4. This one was at 1 a.m. in the morning on the Friday. And this was the one I was not looking forward to. It's right in the middle of the night and there's no avoiding it. You just have to go out and get it done. I selected a route that was quite close to home, a route that I did during the 10,000 calorie challenge. A lap of our village is 2 miles, so I simply lapped it. It did mean taking in a little bit of hill, twice, but that was fine. I can sort of grind it out. You're never too far from home. And then I literally just jettisoned all my clothes and just went straight to bed.
So yeah, that 4 done. I'm not going to dilly-dally, I'm going to have a quick glass of water, straight up to bed. See you at 5. Good morning. It's about 5:15 and I have run 5 to do now. Don't really want to go out.
Run 5 was at 5 a.m. on the Friday morning. This was a relatively uneventful run. I chose a really easy route. It was an out and back, it was flat, and it was designed that way because I knew that this one would be a sort of a tired run. I had in fact got a couple of hours sleep, but it felt like no time had passed and I felt like I'd actually had no sleep. I think there's something worse to be sort of wrenched from sleep when you're just starting to get off into sort of deep sleep. And so yeah, I sort of got up, I was bleary-eyed, didn't quite know where I was. It was quite uneventful. I just sort of ran out, did my miles, it was quite slow, and back again.
Okay, that was that 5 done. I am exhausted. Legs are starting to stiffen up now. Oh.
Morning everyone. So that was a tough night shift. 4 runs in the dark, all on my own. And I think I maybe got 3.5 hours sleep max. It's now 20 past 8 and I need to be sort of out the door in 15 minutes to be on the way to Bradgate Park, which is a little bit further afield, to meet James for my first run with somebody else. Run 6 on Friday morning at 9 a.m. So this one I decided to get away from the house a little bit. It was one of the few ones I get to do in the light, so I chose Bradgate Park, a big country estate here in Leicestershire that has some beautiful views and has some great running. So I organised to meet up with my friend James. You know, he's on a few of these videos on my channel. He's my High Rocks wingman and great buddy. Okay, so I am at Bradgate Park. I am on a play date with James. He is the first person to accompany me and we're 6 runs in. No one wants to come out in the rain and the dark, as it turns out. The path coincidentally is about 2 miles, so it creates a bit of a perfect 4 mile out and back. Whew. So this will take me to 24 miles, and at the end of this one it will be the halfway point. No one see me do that. Shit. I go, you go. Okay guys, so that was Bradgate Park, and although I had plans to run the entire thing on the path, it would be a great shame not to go up the sort of hilly route that runs parallel with the path. Run 7, so we're past the halfway point now. Again, this one would happen in the daylight. It was an entire 24 hours from when I started. I decided that I'm going to take the dog out again, so I threw her in the car. I really wish it wasn't raining. The forecast says it shouldn't be raining, but somehow it's raining. You're like a bad luck charm. No, don't grump at me. All my runs through the night were without you, and they were all dry. The only run I've done with you was wet. Extrapolate from that what you will. And I drove down to another big country park, Watermead, where we normally do our park runs, and where I intended to do the finale, the sort of the finish park run on the Saturday. I met up with my mother-in-law Sharon, and we proceeded to sort of run around the lakes. Now what became evident straight out of the gate was Nala is an absolute Fruit Loop who loves Sharon to bits. So Sharon could not run behind me because my dog wanted to run behind me as well. It meant constantly sort of elastic banding with my dog, and we didn't really get the run done that quickly. Not that I needed quick, it was completely fine. We also realised at that point in time that the lakes, because this country park exists on a lake system, had become heavily flooded due to the weather from Storm Gerrit earlier. Okay, that is welly boot territory, not Hoka Rocket territory. Okay. I can't whoa. Yeah, I don't have an option to whoa. She doesn't whoa. Oh my. You wouldn't believe it to look at her, but she's been a right pain in the ass on that run. Run 8 at 5 PM on the Friday. Now this one saw me return with James and his fiancée Ella, and we went to a slightly different location. I met them at a different village, sort of a few villages adjacent, and James had plotted a little route for us that equaled 4 miles. It meant that I didn't have to think about it. I had some company, I had someone to talk to, and it just meant that even though it wasn't the fastest of my runs, it was one that went by the quickest.
Right.
Yeah, stay hard.
Go on, man.
Don't stop when you're tired, stop when it's done. Like that. He always does that when he's fucking running sideways, doesn't he?
Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done.
I do need to look up some inspirational Goggins quotes.
10 to 6, and I'm very seriously considering just going straight to bed. I need additional sleep now. 3 hours last night and all the exercise I've done today. I'm just tired, so I'm going to try and get 2.5 hours in now. So I'll wake up for my 9 o'clock, again try and get 2.5 hours then, and then the same again at 1 and possibly 5. Try and get mini naps going if I can. Obviously if I can't get to sleep, that's a whole different matter, but at least I've tried. So run 9 was done at 9 PM on the Friday. So we're getting about 3/4 of the way through the challenge now. I decided that I wanted to do something slightly different. I was back at home, I needed to think about another route. There's only a finite amount of places I can run from my house. So I decided to do something called a crossroads run. We have a crossroads in our village, and I did something called the compass run. So I ran down to the crossroads, which was about 1/2 mile from my house, and in each of the directions from the crossroads I ran 1/2 mile. So 1/2 mile. Back out and back is 1 mile, 1 mile, 1 mile, 1 mile, and it worked out perfect. 8:45. Okay. It's the one after this that's bad. The 1 o'clock. That was just dreadful. But that's what's next after this. But let's get this one done. Only means that there's 3 left. It's in grasp. I just need the things that are groaning on my body just to hang in there, hold on. Hopefully I can just grab a slice of toast, glass of water and go straight to bed when I get in. Okay, that was run 9, and I am happy that that one was done. I did the crossroads as I described, and it seemed to make the time go faster because you're thinking about your run. It was a 33-minute effort. It's up there. 32 has been my fastest. It's cold out there, but I'm still sweating through everything I'm wearing in just 4 miles, so must be doing something right. 3 left. Next one is at 1 AM, and that's the one I'm looking forward to least. So run 10. This was my second one at 1 AM in the morning. So this is 1 AM on the Saturday now. I'm really getting tired. My joints are starting to hurt. My twinge in my knee is still there. And in fact, my Achilles is tightening up rapidly. It's causing my cadence to reduce and my pace to drop. It's nearly 1:45. I'm just getting ready to go out on my 10th run. Once again I found myself not being able to get to sleep in the last break until about an hour ago. And then of course you get woke up almost immediately, which, you know, it goes very against what your body wants to do. I'm hoping for much better sleep in the next break. Okay, that is run 10 done. Oh, it's cold out there. There's a nice frost on the ground and I'm starting to hallucinate, thinking I'm seeing snowflakes. I wasn't, I don't think. So run 11 at 5 AM on the Saturday was the penultimate run, and I knew it. I started to taste the finish at this point. I could see it in my mind, and as much as my body was hurting, knowing there was only 2 runs left is what motivated me round this one, and that's literally all I could think about. After this 44 miles, after part run, plus 1 warm-up mile, that will be 48. I'm so tired, can't even think straight. God, I'm sure that cold air outside will wake me up. One left. Run 12, the last run. I'm this close to finishing this challenge. Unfortunately, Watermead Park had flooded so badly that it had been cancelled, which was where I was going to do my big finale, right? It did mean then I had to find the next nearest park run, which was a little bit further away, which meant organising my entire family to a different park run that was a little bit further away, meaning more time to prep, which means less time to sleep. I brought the entire menagerie to the final run, which is Abbey Park Park Run, and I seem to have a renewed second wind, which I suspect will only last a mile. Abbey Park Park Run. This should be 44 miles to 48 miles and complete the challenge. I've only just got here and it's about to start. Skin of my teeth.
I'll be a YouTube video out soon.
That's ambitious, after 45 miles.
Easy.
Yeah, easy.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry, mate.
I know. Might do. Is it possible to do both?
Halfway point, a part run.
Yeah. Not quite the halfway point for me.
Cheers, okay. Right, part run done. Time to find the scuba again.
23 minutes. Takes me up to 47 miles. David Goggins, this is for you. We're in the last half mile and I've got everyone here around me now. I've got Isabel and Mummy and Charlie. I haven't been able to run with them over the last couple of days because the weather's been a bit grim. So it's great to be able to finish this with you guys. Well, thank you. God. Hey, 7.
I'm not there yet. No, we're not done. Oh, I'm already done. You finished? Yeah. That's 48 miles in the bag. 4x4x48. Done. How do you feel? Oh, tired, mate.
Yay, first one through.
So, this particular challenge, is it easy? Is it hard? What was most difficult? Well, this may come as a bit of a shock, but the hardest part, I think, is not the running, it's the sleeping. Eating is okay, drinking is okay, running is okay, but the sleeping deprivation is what makes it most difficult. The 4-hour breaks are relentless, they are unforgiving, they are on you before you know it. And while you have quite a lot of time to do jobs and things when you're awake, the time passes almost instantaneously the second you close your eyes. So you go from running, closing your eyes, to being running again. It feels like no time has passed. That's the hardest part for me. This sort of challenge lends itself to long distance runners. I don't consider myself a long distance runner. I'm a pretty good runner, sort of up to a half marathon distance, but anything sort of beyond that, it becomes a bit of a grind for me. My overpronation, my sort of bad form, my goofy running in general just makes long distance running more difficult. But would I recommend, say, you guys go out and do this? If you want to test yourself, if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to see if you've got the mental grit to get through this, and it is, like David Goggins often says, your mind is the thing that holds you back. Your body is capable of an enormous amount more than you think it is. You just never give it the opportunity. You allow your mind to say no or to give up long before your body would have done. And over the sort of few challenges that I've done, that's exactly what I've experienced. As long as you can keep going, as long as your mind can keep saying yes, do more, keep going, don't give up, don't stop when you are tired, stop when you are done.
Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Stay hard.
That mantra that comes out of this guy's mouth is great. That echoed in my ears more than once when I was running around this challenge. So yes, if you're a long distance runner and you've got quite a lot of spare time, then yes, give it a go, because it is really tough, but it is really rewarding to finish. Finishing Abbey Park Run, yeah, amazing. Amazing. I love finishing these challenges, so it makes me feel like I am capable of anything. I want to thank David Goggins for throwing this out into the world in the first place, and all the other YouTubers like Mark Lewis and all those guys that have done this challenge sort of in his shadow. I hope I am now one of you. So I just want to say thank you to the people that sort of supported me. Holly, who looked after the house and kids and all of that stuff while I was dilly-dallying around the streets. I would like to say thank you to Sharon for meeting me at the park that day. I'd like to say thank you to James for meeting me at Bradgate, and Ella later that same day. And they all came out to sort of see me finish at the finale. So thank you guys. Right, I think that just about concludes what I wanted to say. Thank you for watching this video. Please give the channel a subscribe. There will be more challenges coming soon. All right, thank you for watching. Mart out.